All right, I'm here with Todd Stanton, Andrew Stanton, and Austyn Ybarra. They are three of the four filmmakers behind Zugzwang. How do you pronounce it again? What are we going with here?
Zugzwang.
Zugzwang?
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
That's what the little dictionary pronunciation says.
Okay, Zugzwang, and this is a film that premiered, right, at the 2020 Tree City Film Festival, which obviously was under different circumstances this year, so everything was virtual. It was part of the 50-hour film challenge. Do I have all the information correct?
Yes.
Okay. Who am I going to here to sort of give me a little background on how the film started? Todd, we going with you?
Sure. Andrew and I and Austyn have been involved with, I don't know how many we've done, 5 or 6 48-hour challenges, 48, 50, depending on who they are. And what's involved with that is pretty unique, I think. You're given a genre, you're given a prop, you're given a line of dialogue, you're given a location that you need to include, and we get that like Friday night when these things kick off at like 6 o'clock. We all then go back to our little think tanks and kind of come up with something. Sometimes it's like pulling teeth, trying to come up with an idea. Not so much incorporating all those things in there. Those have always been the easiest part, but to just come up with a unique story, because Saturday morning you're going to be filming it, and Sunday you're going to be editing it, and Sunday night you're going to be delivering it. So it's pretty high stress. So for me, I can't speak for the guys, but I think that's the most stressful part of the whole equation.
Andrew, what did you guys draw for this film?
So what we went away with from the festival was that we had the genre of historic. And I think the problem with that is, like, because we're so short on time, like, if you're going to do a historical film, you're going to do, like, the language of that time and, like, the
props.
Yeah, props and the costumes and everything. You don't have time to do all that. So the idea we did was, why don't we make it historic, as in now is the history and the future is from when it's being told. And so that was the initial idea, to get around that whole genre problem. And so from there, then we just started coming up with ideas. Austyn was the one that actually came up with the idea.
We actually passed a gas station that was seen in the film.
Yeah.
And Austyn, you can tell it.
Yeah, we were dropping Andrew off to get his car because we were going to go meet at a restaurant to discuss more of our ideas. And so we were thinking of, because Todd had the initial idea of telling it as history being in the present. And so we were thinking of things, and we saw the abandoned gas station, and we discussed, like, always wanting to film something like kind of apocalyptic in the location like that. It was like just before, like, all the quarantines and everything started happening here, like when it was more over in China, very big, everyone was talking about it. So I jokingly, said, oh, maybe it could be like the future, like a fake future that, like, a bunch of people, like, everyone's dead from this thing. And
there are parts that are, very eerie to what's going on now, especially with, like, the handkerchief masks. Obviously, it's a lot more drastic. Hopefully we don't get to where the film is with what we're going through now. But I love the idea of how it was told, where you can tell this is a big story, but it's very intimate, with it focusing on one family and sort of how they've gone through this. And it's not very graphic. There's no foul language or anything like that, but it really hits home. Again, partially because of what we're going through now, but also just the family aspect of a small family dealing with something that's, going on around the world and really affecting everybody across the whole planet. So a very powerful film and very well made as well.
I think that's the most interesting part of it, is because it was like a week before, like, the school shut down and before anything was really big. And it was just based on, like, the Corona memes we had seen. Like, that was basically why we ended up going that direction. And it turned into, like, reality by the time it hit.
It got scarier over the next week. I mean, we had turned in our film on Sunday, and then over the next week, with school shutting down, restaurants shutting down, it's like, what's going on? I mean, we wrote a film that, is literally laying out what's, hopefully not going to happen. But it became kind of, I don't know, made the film scarier than, what we thought. We thought we were just having fun.
When the next week came and everything started getting crazy, I was like, oh, people are going to see our movie now and be like, this is terrible and insensitive. And
that we capitalize on it. Yeah.
Well, what has the response? Obviously, it's only been out for a little bit, but what has been the response of people that's seen it?
There's been good response. I mean, actually, I had one person, a friend of mine, say, so what exactly were they dying from? Like, well, we don't ever say coronavirus. Actually, we were deliberate about that. There was one point where we did write some dialogue, and I wound up cutting it out, just because we didn't want to be too on the nose. This was not about the coronavirus. It was just something that we felt was kind of relative to what we were, at least what people in the world were starting to deal with. I mean, for someone to, come away with what exactly were they dying from? I actually had someone joke that, was Selena eating people? I mean, what was happening to the people that they were disappearing?
I will say on a cinematic level, especially with the gas station and sort of the storytelling things from the future to the past, it reminded me of parts of Terminator 2, Judgment Day. I don't know if you guys, if there was any intention there, but it had that feel.
There were several shots, not with Terminator, but I could definitely see that. But some of the shots that we were doing, it was mainly me and Austyn doing those shots in the beginning, and we were pulling from reference. I remember one of the shots were like, "Oh, this is going to be a Star Wars related shot." So there was things like that in the beginning.
Yeah, once again, very well made. And we want to give credit to Jake Paluski as well, who's in the film, but also his company, helped produce this. He was one of the directors and writers.
We didn't intend for Jake to be in the film, but as we needed, a dad role, I asked Jake, and he was more than willing. And I think his acting is just superior in this.
He's really good. Well, I mean, you could have played that dad role because you and Andrew are father and son. What's it like working together as a dad and son team?
I mean, we've been doing it for a while now, so it's just kind of used to it. I mean, we've done however many movies. I mean, all three of us work together now, and we do a bunch of things. So it goes pretty smooth. There was probably a little bit of arguing in the beginning about one stupid thing. It was something related to the TV, but besides that, we got around it.
Yeah, I mean, Andrew and I have a weird dynamic. I mean, a good dynamic. I mean, we work together, like Andrew said. We've been doing films for quite a while, and then we also write and record music together too. So we have like this. I don't know if we're ever really, father and son too much. We're either on some boss, or partner, or some kind of equivalent level at times. So it's a neat. It's worked out well for at least us. I don't know about Austyn, but.
Well, you guys, it all comes through on the film that there's a closeness there and that you all work together well. It was really, really well made.